Just before I get too far, we'll video catalog this. So this should have a bar that goes in between here, but whoever replaced this battery last time didn't put it in place. Went over to Wally World, even though it says 424. These batteries haven't been known to last very long. They seem like they're getting worse as time goes forward here, but 53 bucks. This is now the third xt1 in a row. I think the last one was a 42 inch. I don't know. This looks like a 38 inch deck, but it could be smaller, larger. I should say larger, not usually smaller. Missing the pre-screen on that. So they usually do come with a pre-screen, so not sure why. It's missing that pre-screen. Another thing that I thought was a little funny too was usually there's a little bit more metal showing on these, and when I had it running at the gentleman's house, noticed that there really wasn't a slow speed per se on this this carburetor for whatever reason. It seems like it's idling a little high, and to me it seems a little peculiar. Usually there's some more metal than that showing on this, but it's in for general service and a battery, so we'll throw the goods on it, change the oil out, use the good old extractor. I mean, they do have they have a drain tube here, but the extractor works just as well for me, and it's a little bit easier for me to contain that mess. So I pushed this out a little bit. See, and there's supposed to be a cap on the end of that, just like so. It only has 91.3 hours on it, so it's not a lot of hours at all, but like I said, that just looked a little peculiar. And the other thing too, what's happening here, if you can see, because that was out too far on that, it is actually rotting the end of that cable. So we'll keep going forward with this. I think I put the, now I have to flip the video because this camera gets wonky. I do like that Weezer song, Hash Pipe, but man, I am surprised. I was really having a hard time. I don't know if you can see that. I was having a hard time getting that filter off. Yeah, somebody put that in there. They twisted it on. That's pretty crazy. And I'm surprised that that was feeding gas. It's pretty narrow. Guess it was enough to pull. But one thing that I do, I put a little grease on all these. I pull it off here if I can, and then I blow the fuel back down through, and I use my clamp, and then I throw a little grease on the barbs. It just makes it easier for the next person to take it apart. Look at that guy. What'd you catch there, bud? A nice one. The other blade, we can still put an edge on that one. We'll put an edge on this one too. Just have to grind it back further and try to get that balanced out. Yo, it always starts out as a general service, right? Now, I don't know why, but I was looking over here, and this bolt was laying right on the trailer. So you get yourself into shady situations sometimes. I'm betting I heard that loud noise over at the guy's house. If I look up under here, yo, what the F? He just turned my project into, he turned his project into my project. Boy. Is that bolt snapped? Can't focus in, can you, camera? No. Hopefully that's not snapped. Hopefully that just fell out. Looks like it just... How in the world, sorry, hitting buttons. How in the world does that just fall out? Oh, you can't see crap. This camera sucks. I gotta start using the GoPro again. And of course, you can't, that's where that was from. I think there's a... Ew. No, all I need is... That dropped down far enough? Is that the wrong shiv? That's the wrong shiv. Dude, somebody got him, man. I don't know what to say, bud. I'm gonna put that back on, but I think something's missing in that. That's why it's so noisy. I'm gonna throw a little red Loctite in that too. That's a 5/8. I was really rattling. Maybe that's what I was hearing, rattling. Hopefully, but at least the thread's in there. It's not broken out, but that's crazy, man. I don't know if somebody replaced the belt on that at one point. Something funny. These Cub Cadets, man, they really are junk with these colors. I hate to say it. They just got so cheap. Oh, let's scrape out the deck while we're down here, but we got the blade sharpened up as best as we can, and we're gonna, I guess, jam that in. Made in China. Nice. Cub Cadetter. Alright, well, that's enough complaining. Alright, last video for tonight. At least on this unit. I'm going to finish it up here in a minute. This deck isn't going to last that long. And I'll tell you, because the grass that's sitting up in here is rotting this deck out. And this Chinese steel that we're getting with these stamped decks is getting worse and worse. So, when I try to mow your grass when it's dry and not while it's wet, otherwise you're going to end up with holes in this deck. It's already kind of too late, but you can see that's all rust coming off there. And that's just the layers of that steel. That's just going to come through, and eventually you'll have holes in your deck. You're pretty close there. Now, hopefully you can hear me, but mow your grass when it's dry. Always pre-fill. Even if it's on the side, you know, if you've got one that's on the side, use your funnel and take the clean oil, put it back in your container. But that oil will hold in there. A little bit goes a long way, but these guys here, because they hang upside down anyway, you just you pre-fill it and go fill it to the threads. I gotta keep going with this, but you gotta be patient. Believe it or not, that guy holds about 4 ounces, which is pretty crazy, but prevents a dry start. I know some guys just spin them on, slap them on. I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of doing that to my own equipment, but other people's equipment, gotta treat it right. Yeah, so coming to the final hour here, and I don't know if we can see it on here or not. I'll try to get into a spot where it'll focus for me, but we are full now. Unfortunately, my camera must have some dirt on it, but clean, fresh oil. I wanted to do this today because it's supposed to rain tomorrow all day. Kind of cloudy and overcast right now. But had to add a new piece of fuel line here. We put some red Loctite on that bolt. Thankfully, it did go back in there. It wasn't broken. 5/8 air impact wrench. We'll wipe it down, clean it up a little bit. I'm gonna butcher his name again, but we're gonna take it back to the gentleman tomorrow, or Saturday, I should say. Just try to keep things rolling in this little tiny garage of mine. But blades are sharpened, deck's cleaned. You've heard me complain. You saw me almost lose my crap because I thought that for sure there was going to be a major repair in there. Thankfully, that bolt fell out on the deck of the trailer and was lodged in between two of the slats, wooden slats in there, or planks, and we didn't have to go ahead and go look hunting for a new one or buy a new one. We pre-oiled the air filter. I put a date on the front of this air filter as well as the hours. The same thing with the oil filter. I put a date and the hour on that unit. And I think it's like 91.3 or something like that. Well, that's weird. Not sure why it didn't. Fingers just don't work quite right. What the hell? Here we go again. Now we zoomed right in. So 91.4 at this point in time. You know, we'll run it for another couple minutes and it'll rack up a couple more points there on the old hour meter. But happy Thursday. Guess as we're at it, I noticed one other thing missing here. I only noticed it because I went to clean up the unit, as I normally do when I'm finishing up these guys, and noticed a lot of grease just sitting in that wheel. So missing a dust cover on that one, or a grease cap, and I thought I was going to be able to wipe that off, but wherever this sat at, hoo-wee, that baby is rough. Whatever was on there is not just dust. It is like it's like pitted. So maybe it sat outside at some point or another in its life, but I don't know the story on it. But that's unfortunate too. So I'm missing some things and some funny things there. Hopefully this unit didn't have a problem. I don't know what the back end story is on it, but definitely had a shiv that was coming apart. The metal wipes up good, so I had some duct tape on there for whatever reason. Alright, enough complaining. Alright, I lied, I'm not done complaining yet. So I went down here to replace the spark plug, and can you see that? Looks like a threaded hole to me. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a bolt in there. Again, I know these Kohlers have always had some problems shaking and rattling things out, but I have a feeling that somebody might have been fiddling with this and doing stuff to it. You can see the muff cans rubbing against the plastic, and that's kind of normal for these, but it's unfortunate that it seems like there's some things that are just a little off about this. Try to do this one-handed. It's set for 17.47. This is not the best torque wrench to begin with, but I think we're good. And yeah, let's not break the hood any further than it's already busted, right? But I try to always torque these in because it just makes things easier. We'll put a dab of dielectric grease in that, call it a day, put this thing together, and give the gentleman a call.